Welcome back to the TOWKA Talks podcast. Today, I am joined by one of the father-son duos that I get the honor and privilege to train with, EAN and Jersain Castanon. Guys, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So, EAN, let's start with you. What made you start jiu-jitsu, and kind of give us a background history on why you started, and kind of just start from there.
Well, it started all the way back where I was playing soccer first, and after that I kind of took a break over well, I'm not doing a sport, I don't know what to do. And then eventually I kind of went to I think I started doing dance, which is surprising to say the least. I started doing that, but then I broke my left arm back in 2016, and then after that I was just on break for 2 years, not doing anything. And my dad, he was like, well, I mean, you can't just sit at home being lazy all day. And I was like, okay. And then it was either jiu-jitsu or gymnastics, I think. And I ended up choosing jiu-jitsu. And ever since then, I'm glad I made that decision because I really love the sport.
And how many years now has it been for you to be in the sport and training?
I'd say around 5 to 6 years now.
And you've competed, obviously, yes,
Yeah.
in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you want to continue to compete and continue to be in the tournaments and stuff like that and grow as a competitor?
Yeah, most definitely. I want to keep going back to those tournaments and getting first over and over.
So just saying, so I obviously know you a little bit better just because we trained pretty much since the beginning of our careers. What made you in particular start? Because obviously you're a little bit older like I am. What made you want to start jujitsu?
To be honest, I think I'm old, but I think when I was like 19, 20, I used to do as a kid, taekwondo, boxing, and all that. When I was 19, 20, I used to go to the old gym where we and you train at, and I was just trying to do some amateur fights and all that, just mainly Muay Thai. Did all that, had to stop. Life happens. I had to go back to school, get all that done, bachelor's, master's degree, all that. And then one random day, I was at a barber shop and I ran into Juan, and I actually knew him from like 10 years before. And I was like, hey, what's up? How have you been? We started talking. Told him I had some young sons, and he asked me, he was like, well, bring him by, maybe come check out. I opened up a gym, and I was like, cool. We swung by, and then I think it started with Ian going back to or trying out jiu-jitsu, liking it. I was still not a fan at the time. I was like, okay, I'll start Muay Thai back up again. I hadn't done it for like 8 years. Um, kind of got a hold of it. You don't forget a lot of the technique. You just get old. You just can't do it as well. But started back up, and I was like, okay. And then one day I was there during the day sparring, and some guy told me, he was like, why don't you try out jiu-jitsu? It's fun too. And I was like, I don't know. I had kind of stepped back from it. Didn't really want to try it for, like 10, 15 years that I had been around that stuff. And then one day I just signed up. And then after that, I saw the, I don't know what to call it, but the desire to learn. And that's the hard part. I think, having some experience striking and doing all that, that's fun too. And it has its own techniques. It's very hard, but jiu-jitsu, it's a grind because it's not just, you can't take breaks. And, if you have boxing gloves on, you can kind of step back, catch your breath. But in this sport, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, grappling, you can't. Just a constant beat down. And it's like, how like cheesy it sounds, but it's like playing, like a puzzle with your body. And that's what I liked it. I like the learning part of it. It's neat because I don't think you could ever be too good, or I don't know. It's for sure. The majority, I think, for me is the mental part of like, okay, how do you do this? And I sit there and I try to watch videos, and we have some jiu-jitsu books, and we try to sit there and study it. And it's like, okay, I'm still missing step one or step three out of 20 steps. And if you don't get all those right, the techniques won't work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been training jiu-jitsu? Just jiu-jitsu?
I think 3 years now. Yeah.
And then how about Muay Thai? How long has it been for you?
That's been on and off, I think probably like 17 years now.
Wow. And as a dad of kids who train mixed martial arts, what is your takeaway from all the things you've learned, just being able to watch Ian grow as a young adult and obviously as a competitor and then an athlete?
I think a lot of people get kind of scared or thrown back on like, why would you let your kid do that? Or you not get scared if he gets hit. But I think the reality is it's like like life's tough or whatever, and I think going through sports in general, it teaches you a lot of good values of like you have to work hard if you want to get better. Actually, all these medals back here, there are a lot of them. Most of them are Ian's jiu-jitsu medals, some wrestling ones. Um, and I remember when he was like right before he started jiu-jitsu, I remember he told me his brother also has a similar shelf across from the room. He told me, "Man, I don't have any medals on my wall." And I remember telling him, I was like, "If you want them, you got to go earn them." That's the reality, and you got to work hard and you got to go after him. And after that, I don't think Ian's ever done a jiu-jitsu tournament out of like the 10, 15 he's done in the last couple of years that he's ever not placed first, second, or third. So, and I think sports does that for kids. It teaches you good values and to work hard, and maybe all those things one day will translate to him being hopefully a good dad, a good husband, a good, doctor, lawyer, whatever he wants to decide to be. And I think that carries over. But in specific to mixed martial arts or jiu-jitsu or wrestling, boxing, I like it. I think big scale, it teaches him, you know, how to be in an environment of like his generation doesn't, they're always on their phones. So it teaches him how to be around other grown men, how to talk, how to chit chat, how to, um, how to integrate with like amongst other dudes, and just be normal. I don't know what normal is, but normal to at least to my generation of respecting your elders and just being cool, around everybody else. And uh, like down to the itty gritty, I do like the fact that he learns technique, how to learn his own body, how to learn how to take care of himself, how to eat better. It's a whole like lifestyle when you decide to do sports like this, and I like that. It teaches him how to be disciplined.
Ian, would you say that jujitsu in particular has given you a confidence that no other sport probably you've ever done has given you? Or do you feel like you just learned a lot about yourself along the way?
I'd say a little bit of both because like just from going to jiu-jitsu as the years went on, as I started going to like the I guess adult classes because I used to go to kids class only, and as I started going to the adult classes mostly, like I started like talking to the adults more and I got better at talking with people and especially with adults because like even like with you like I talk to a lot of the adults there. I'm like pretty good friends with them. Like most of the time just talk with them. Like I can have a normal conversation with them and like it really helps in the long term because whenever I try talking with whenever I at like my job and I'm talking to like adults there because it's mostly adults there, I talk with them or like at school I'm talking to my teachers. I can talk to them more better, like I guess professionally and just like feel more better when I talk to them.
What advice would you give, Ian, to any kids out there or people out there that are on the border between trying jujitsu and or Muay Thai and not pursuing it? What advice would you give?
I mean, you're really just like if you're scared if you're scared that you want to get hit or like things like that. I mean, you can't just say that and then not end up doing it because you never know. Like, what if you end up going and then you end up loving it and then you keep going for the sport and you get better and better and better as time goes on and you keep doing it. I mean, eventually, if you really want to, you can go up to all the way to UFC and just like be beating people up there. So like, you always got to try something. Never say that oh, like I don't want to do it. Just try it out. You never know. You could like it or you could not.
Just saying, same question as one of the people kind of a little bit older, have more experience, maybe have an athletic background, maybe they don't. What advice would you give to people out there listening who are on the fence of trying jujitsu or Muay Thai?
I think the hardest part is just getting in through the door. Once you get into it, I mean, I still get nervous when I go to the gym. Like I don't think I ever go and I'm not like necessarily scared, but I'm always nervous. And I think I don't know if you feel like that too, but it's always like for me, I feel like oh man, we'll see how today goes because that. But yeah, the hardest part is getting into the door. Once you get in, you'll get used to it, and you'll get that muscle memory, brain memory, whatever you want to call it. But the hardest part is starting. But yeah, once you get through that door, you've already beat like 90% of the effort there, and then the rest of it you just got to commit.
So, as a dad, what would you say is probably your favorite part about getting to train with Ian and learn with him along the way? Like, what's been your favorite part so far along the journey?
I think my favorite part is whenever I see him compete, or we just saw some MMA fights last week from some guys at the gym. I think seeing Ian not only grow, but sharing the glory and the pain of it all. I think it's cool because I get to, I wouldn't tell him to do something that I wouldn't try myself. So I think whenever he's hurting, I know exactly what he's talking about. Whenever he feels good about winning something or doing well, I know exactly what he needs to. But I like sharing the goods and the bads out of it. And as he gets older, I just learn to respect him more of how he's evolved and committed to it, and just really learn to like be about this life of it's hard and I'm gonna stick to it, and you got to be kind of like a quote unquote like a badass amongst badasses because this is what this sport is. If you want to, and there's always levels to the sport. You can be just a person that wants to go try it once or twice a week. You can be a guy that's competing. You can be a guy that wants to be like a world champion. But I think there's always space for everyone. I don't think it's necessarily you have to be a professional fighter. And I think for me and Ian, we started just casually, and then eventually turned to like, hey, Ian's competing, and he's trying to push me to compete a little bit too now. And I like that we share it, the goods and the bads out of it.
So, Ian, there's, I think, very, very few sports out there to where the child and their parent can actually compete or train in a sport alongside one another and grow and learn and embrace, the atmosphere together like you guys do. And it's really cool, just speaking on a personal level. Every time I see you guys train or roll or whatever, it's really cool to see that as somebody who, I don't know, obviously not a father or a dad yet, but or that's the same thing. I don't know why I just said the same thing. I'm not a father or a husband yet, but yeah, it's just really cool to see you guys be able to do that. What have you enjoyed so far in your journey, being able to train and compete where your dad is there watching you and learning alongside you?
I mean, I really like, whenever he's watching me, I like, he sees how whenever I'm going at it, like Muay Thai Jiu Jitsu, just going at it, he sees how like, I really put that effort into the hard work, I guess, and like I'm there for like a long time. He sees every day that like I work out every single day, morning during school, and then the afternoon later at night too, with like over there at the gym, but like whenever he's there too, like when we're both on the mat, like when we're going with each other, it's good to go with each other because like we both kind of he's of course he doesn't go full 100% because like he's bigger than me, stronger than me, so kind of can just throw me around a little bit. But we both go at it, and like he lets me go out on him, like actually just like trying to like get him, and like sometimes I get him stuff, sometimes I don't, but like I really like how we both just like go at it with each other, and like we can just like we can leave with like just like oh hey like good job, you were going good today and stuff.
So, what are your personal goals, Ian? Not only in jiu-jitsu, but in school, in work, and in life that you have so far at the age that you're at right now?
I mean, there's a good amount of goals I have, like, but for jiu-jitsu, I mean, I just want to, because I turn 16 next year, March, and I just want to go like immediately for that blue belt. I want to keep ranking up because I'm going to go from the little kids belt, little gray belt, all the way up to like the actual adult belt. So I actually want to keep, ranking up and eventually get my black belt. Maybe by the time I'm done with college too, I'm not sure. And then like at school, academically, I just want to get done with the program I'm in, CAB, because once I get out of high school, I'll have an associate's degree. So it's like an early college type of program, and I just want to get that done with. So like as soon as I'm out of high school, that I cut a few years of college out of my time, and also I have an associate's degree already. If I end up going to college, which I do want to go to college too.
So, Jusane, since you just heard your son say all that, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh man, I just want to be a good dad, good person, and just keep pushing hard, man. I don't know. I don't let off, and I don't know if Ian elaborated on that last question, but he does. He's on that college high school program. He obviously trains jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and then he's also in high school wrestling. I don't know. You forgot about that one, but yeah, he's mentioned before. Maybe he has some friends that went to college for wrestling. He's mentioned maybe having some interest in that, but. So yeah, so some days Ian has, I think, 4 days. He works out in the morning at school, midday at school, after school. Then he'll double up at jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai or both jiu-jitsu classes. But yeah, when I see him in these long days, I mean, I respect him more now. Like, I get it, man. You work just as hard as I do, my job. So I have no complaints. But yeah, The goal is just to just keep going, man.
Do you want to eventually, just keep getting better and keep doing everything you can to promote and then to learn as much skill as possible as well alongside him?
Yeah, yeah. We joked around once. We were like thinking when I was like, if you work super hard and I work pretty hard too in the next couple of years, I was like, maybe by the time you go to college, we'll both be purple belts. I was like, that'd be amazing because I've never met a purple belt that sucked. So that we have a lot of work to do, but yeah, that'd be cool.
That's awesome, guys. Well, do y'all have any final thoughts or anything you'd like to share with the audience as we're near the end of this episode?
Nah, I just think if people want to try it out, you just jump in it. There's, the coolest thing. I don't know. I'm sure you've noticed it is like the brotherhood doing the sport. It's not like a douchebag sport where people, someone's a jerk or this and that. It's not like that. Maybe it gets a misconception that's going to be a bunch of ex felon tatted up dudes or something, but it's actually not. It's actually when I go to the gym, at some point I was rolling around one day. There was like we're asking people what they did for a living. There was like 6 or 7 people that were all engineers working out, and I was like, we're all just a bunch of nerds that are trying to beat each other up. But yeah, that's the only thing. There's nothing to be afraid of other than yourself. You just gotta just try it out.
Well said, man. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this episode with Ian and Jersain, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't check out the last podcast episode, please go check that out along with the other video. The links will be in the description below. If you want to see more episodes like this with certain people like Jersain and Ian, please let me know down in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you guys on the other side.